Welcome to Sounding Board. This is a weekly community television program produced by club members of Seroptimus International of Novato. The mission of the organization is to improve the lives of women and girls through programs leading to social and economic empowerment. My name is Carol Bennett. I'm a retired instructor from Santa Rosa Junior College, and I'm the moderator today. Our topic is the North Bay Science Discovery Day, which is really one of my favorite things to be involved in. And I'm very proud to say that I'm on a committee with our two guests today, and we are 3 of 10 volunteers who make up this very free event. It's a one-day event, totally free, with the primary objective of getting kids excited about STEM. And STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So, welcome Julie Mangada, who's the scientist at the Buck Institute at the Buck Institute of Research on Aging right here in Novato, that big awesome building up on the hill. Yes. And Lyman Black, welcome. And Lyman is a civil engineer. Both of them are extremely brainy people, and it's just such a pleasure to work around you guys all the time. Oh. So, Julie, we've been doing this for many years, and you were the brainchild behind this whole thing. So tell us, how did it all get started?
Oh gosh, about 7 years ago, I was asked to sit on the steering committee at UCSF for their Bay Area Science Festival. And this is a week-long festival funded by the National Science Foundation through big grants. And basically the idea was to start a consortium of science festivals across the United States. Mm-hmm. So we were actually one of many in this effort to really engage kids in STEM education, like you mentioned. So as I was sitting on this steering committee with lots of incredible inspirational people from UCSF, Cal Academy of Science, NASA Ames, Berkeley, wow, the Exploratorium, it occurred to me that we have amazing science north of the Golden Gate Bridge, but I was the only one representing the North Bay. So I asked the festival director, Kishore, if he would mind if we started a North Bay Discovery Day.
If he would mind.
If he would mind.
Right.
And he did give me his blessing, and that's when we got our group together and started our own planning committee, and we pulled the trigger on our first festival in 2011.
Was it 2011?
I think so, yeah. We're going into our 6th year, so it's just been an incredible experience, and I'm really proud to be a part of this team to bring something so amazing to the North Bay.
Well, you mentioned Lyman's name, not Lyman, you're Lyman, Kishore's name, Kishore Hari. Who are some of the other major players there at the very beginning stages?
Oh gosh, I approached my executive staff here at the Buck Institute, and Ralph O'Rear, who was our facilities vice president, and Mary McEachran, and of course our CEO Brian Kennedy, were all instrumental in helping me put together a team of volunteers, and of course putting the Buck's name behind this effort. And then Cynthia Murray from the North Bay Leadership Council went through all of our contacts and put us in touch with some amazing community leaders like Jeff Weber, who is at Keysight Technologies. And really in a grassroots effort, we just pulled together community leaders and local retired individuals in our community, and we put this together.
I know it, and it's so much fun.
It is.
I can't believe
it's a lot of fun. I
never thought that retirement would be so much fun for me. So I think we mentioned the whole event was free. I think we mentioned that maybe a couple times, but it is free because of what reason? And Lyman explained to us how it can be free.
Well, we have amazing sponsors. As Julie mentioned, we have awesome business leaders and political leaders who are supporting us here. Keysight Technology has been a major sponsor over the years. Kaiser Permanente has been a fantastic sponsor. Ultragenics has stepped up and they're helping us now. BioMarin, Raptor Pharmaceutical. Viavi, which had been JDSU. So we get a lot of money from sponsors who share the vision of a STEM enrichment day for young students to help keep them engaged with the subjects through school, hopefully through high school and beyond. So that's what allows us to keep it free for all the attendees. There's a nominal fee for exhibitors, and we have a lot of individual donors who have really stepped up and helped underwrite some of the nonprofits who come to the event as well.
Great.
Yeah, so it's very important. We do a lot of outreach to underrepresented communities, and sometimes those are less affluent families, and having everything free is so important for those kids and those families.
Now, the mission of the whole event is to get kids excited about STEM, and that's science, technology, engineering, and math. But why is that important? Why is it important to get them excited about it?
Well, this is really the face of our future workforce. These young children, you know, kindergarten on up, they're going to be participating in jobs and, you know, looking to forge careers, and we'd like them to stay right here in the North Bay. We have amazing science and technology that's practiced right here north of the Golden Gate Bridge. So as this develops, we'd like these students to fill those roles and really take the lead and move us to the next century.
It makes me think of a little friend who used to live next door to me, and he was so techie and he was so bright, and all he knew was Google and Apple down in the South Bay. And it makes me think that, you know, kids should know that there's stuff exists in the North Bay.
That's
it might not have the big names of Apple and Google, yet anyway. But anyway, they need to know that the stuff exists up here, big jobs.
And science is indeed everywhere, and this is a great way for us to really showcase that. For example, La Tortilla Factory is a huge employer in the North Bay, and there's a lot of science in the food industry and food production.
Right.
So when they have a booth and they get to do food science with baking soda and baking powder and see the reaction and realize that indeed science is everywhere.
I think Willie Tamaya, who was the owner of that, explained to me one time they have a scientist, a full-time scientist on their staff.
They do.
The La Tortilla Factory. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
Just
a lot
amazing.
of students don't understand that. They think if they're going to go into science and technology related fields that they need to wear a white lab coat and, you know, have those special glasses on and the pocket protector, and for them to be able to interface with members of our community and learn the science in solar energy or in the tortilla manufacturing process, or, you know, even in creameries or research on aging, it just runs the gamut, and there's something for everyone.
It's so nice for them to see that you, Julie, as you were a scientist, and they could be you someday, and you're a normal human being. You don't have a lab coat on with a nerdy thing on your pocket protector.
Right. That's right. And we would like to retire someday. So if they can come up and really embrace that and take this technology to the next level.
Good.
The future's bright.
Well, let's see, we have about over 100, maybe close to 100 exhibitors. And who are those exhibitors and what kind of rules? And you're the one who organizes all the exhibitors, gets them shaped up and then ready to go. So tell us what rules you have for them.
You know, it's just as Julie says, it really covers the gamut, and it represents the activities, and the exhibitors represent the science, technology, engineering, and math that is in everything across the North Bay. And it's not merely letting the kids see what the topics are, but we need to have a technically literate workforce to fill the jobs. One estimate is that by 2020, in manufacturing alone, there will be 3,000 technical jobs that go unfilled because we aren't producing the technically literate graduates. So we're trying to get the kids to come to this event and have a hands-on aha moment with something fun. And we have aerospace and astronomy. We have zoology at the other end. We have DNA extraction. Kids who are in elementary school can extract DNA from strawberries, hands-on.
That's so exciting.
We have a remote-operated Mars rover that kids come and they can understand the rocket science that goes into that. We have beekeepers who come and show the science of the apiary. Sometimes kids have never had an experience like that. In fact, one statistic was that 60% of the kids who come to this event have never had a chance to talk to a scientist or doctor before.
Wow.
By the time they leave, 80% have been able to talk to someone, because that's part of it too. All of these exhibitors, whether it's Viavi with their infrared light viewing, or the Pacific Coast Air Museum with their airplanes and helicopters, you're talking to the people who've actually done it. Julie will be behind the booth. You can talk to a scientist. A young girl can talk to Julie and see, there's a career path for me.
Right.
And this can be an inspiration that lasts throughout school. We have things that blow up, we have things that freeze, we have things that shatter, we have things that are remote control that make great noises and throw balls all over the place. It's a lot of fun.
And we have things that smell, don't forget.
Oh, of course.
The squid, remember those?
Oh, nothing smells as bad as a squid indoors. It'll be outdoors this year.
But that reminds me that my husband and I were down in Monterey, so we were assigned the job of going to the Monterey aquarium there, and well, it's next door, but anyway, and picking up the giant Humboldt squid. There were 4 of them, and they were kind of packaged up and frozen, and we got to bring them home, but we got to get behind the scenes and check it out down there. It was really neat. I felt like a kid again.
Yeah.
You know, it was so fun.
Well, and that's what we want the kids to feel like coming to the event.
And then they thaw them out one at a time, and then the kids get to put on the gloves, and they get to actually dissect these squid. It's just amazing. And these things are about, they're about 4 feet long. They're huge. They're huge. So I remember one rule that you told me about, Lyman, and that is that that nothing can be sold. We don't allow any of our exhibitors to sell anything. There's no promotional kind of thing overtly done there because we want no child to feel deprived.
Right.
And so that's a real important thing. Now, there might be some subtle stuff going on, like maybe future employment at some place or something like that, but there's no overt selling of any kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not a merchandising opportunity. That happens to kids and families everywhere they go. This is supposed to be just for the joy of the experience, the hands-on experience without the selling.
So, Julie, you have anything to add to that list of exciting? What about your ice cream thing?
Well, we make liquid nitrogen ice cream because science makes everything taste more delicious. And we also have all of our, rock stars of science here at the Buck Institute behind our booth. These are our model systems in which we model human aging. So everything from microscopic nematodes to fruit flies, stem cells, and the famous water bears or tardigrades will make a guest appearance.
Ooh.
And I don't think Lyman mentioned, but my favorite is the robot petting zoo.
Oh,
so that's
we missed that, yeah.
Yes, the robot petting zoo. There's just too many to list, too many exciting things to list.
That makes me think, though, we haven't really talked about where this event happens. And when you said we have the robot petting zoo, that's the Finley Hall, and we rent out the entire Sonoma County Fairgrounds. Not quite the entire. We don't do the Grace Pavilion, but we do most all the other buildings now because we have grown so large. And we didn't talk about that either. We didn't mention that. Tell us about how we've grown.
Well, we're one of those success stories where we started in the garage and grew. Literally, the very first year we were at Infineon Raceway in the garage spaces, and we had about 30 exhibitors and didn't know what to expect. Our 500 people we had 4,000. We immediately outgrew the space, and we have found such a hunger for this content in the community, and the community has come back year after year, growing every year, until last year, the 5th year, we had about 14,000 people show up and about 100 exhibitors doing different things. So it has really grown, just like a good startup from Silicon Valley.
Right, that's true. Good analogy.
So we'll call it Silicon Vineyard up here.
Sometimes we get requests, some parents who say, I never heard about it, and that bothers me. And I would like to explain a little bit about our marketing. We do, we're on a budget. We have everything on a very tight budget because we don't have a lot of money to blow. And so we put everything out. We give everything to all the superintendents, to all the school districts in all the, 5 northern North Bay counties. And it's Sonoma, Napa, Marin, and Solano, and Lake now. And we ask that the superintendents pass them on. And then it goes down to the principals, and the principals have to be able to send it to the teachers. We don't have any better way of getting to having access to the teachers. That's just sort of public law that prevents people from having easy access to all the teachers. But we do ask that, we do tend to target some of the school districts that have a high percentage of free lunch programs, and that's public information. We can access that. So we know which schools that is. So we provide them with printed flyers, and those are printed 8.5 by 11, English on one side and Spanish on the other. And we put those out in classroom sets, and we hand deliver those to the schools. But again, we have to have permission from the superintendents. Now, there are a couple of districts out there, I have mixed emotions about this myself, that have said, you know, we want to save paper, so we don't want to have anything printed anymore. So that worries me, because then if we're relying on only the message going out to the schools, to the kids on a computer accessed, are we leaving out parents who don't speak English? Are we leaving out a whole element of our population that we really are wanting to target? So we really appreciate being able to take the flyers, the printed flyers, to the schools. We print up 30,000 of those, but that isn't enough to even begin with every student. And the idea is that becomes a flyer that goes to the students, goes to the teachers, goes to the students, and goes in their little Friday packs or their whatever day it is, where the kids go home with all the information for their parents. So that's one way that we try to market to the schools and the kids. We also have a fabulous working relationship with KZST, which is a primary radio station in Sonoma County, where the event is happening. And we also work very closely with KBBF, which is a English and Spanish speaking station, and they have been very good working with us. And so anyway, and they're throughout the whole North Bay. What else are we doing to help send out communications?
Well, one of the channels that I really want to highlight, because we have such great partners, the Sonoma County Library and the Marin County Free Library have printed up postcards with all the information, and this supports the libraries as well. They printed up, I think, around 7,000 of these postcard-sized notices. They took them to the county fairs. They have them at their branch libraries. They take them to outreach activities the library does. That's a tremendous help. And then, of course, we have our social media, Facebook, Twitter. I think we have Snapchat now.
Do we?
I think so, yeah.
And our mobile app. We're going to have a mobile app,
yeah.
but that's not a marketing thing. But anyway.
We also do a lot of booths too, like the Wings Over Wine Country Air Show.
True.
We'll have a North Bay Discovery Day booth there, passing out flyers. We do the Space Fest in Novato, which is always a fabulous event that we're really proud to partner with.
And what about Dane's thing?
The Marinovators.
Marinovators,
Yeah.
that's right. We'll have a
Marinovators.
booth there. And
Right.
downtown Novato's School Fuel
Right.
community, I guess,
Tour of
festival,
Novato.
Tour of Novato, yes.
So we try to reach out as much as we can. So, but we're not perfect. We're not a money machine that can afford to market like some of the big corporate structures do. So, but with that, we're really proud that we had close to 14,000 people attend last event. That's an amazing amount of people. Well, Julie, you commented one time that this is more than just a kids event; it's a community event. So, elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, it's a great way for people in our community to actually give back to the communities in which they work. And that's been, year after year, a comment made by our exhibitors that they appreciate so much being given the opportunity to be out in the public and really share their joy of their job and the science at the company that they work at with children. You have an audience of last year 14,000 people, and they get to roll up their sleeves and really get the kids excited about the science that they do. And when we have our exhibitor appreciation luncheon here at the Buck Institute after the event, they're always coming up to us saying, what else can we do? When can we do something else? How else can we get involved? So it's really a great way to sort of curate a list of people, professionals that practice science in our community, so that when a 5th grade teacher reaches out to me in the Learning Center here and says, we have the NGSS folded into the Common Core and we're trying to teach solar power. And then we can go through our list, and Lyman can pull up engineers at Enphase or Solar City or PG&E, and we can then plug those people in to year-long events. And it's also really a sense of camaraderie too. I've noticed through the years, when we're setting up for the festival the night before and early morning, it's like a big reunion for us. We're so excited. We see people, you know, the Ultragenics booth was there last year, and now they're setting up, and the beekeepers and Kaiser, and we're all high-fiving each other and greeting each other, saying, "I haven't seen you since last year." So it's really great, not just for the students, but for the exhibitors as well.
It is. It really is. And I get that from the exhibitors as well. Lee Boys at Petaluma High School brings their big full-size model whale the kids get to walk through. And every year she is networking with all of the other exhibitors there, seeing what will fit into her programs. Judy Barcelone comes from Pioneer High. San Marin High is there. It's a great time. But you know, it's the community as well in the cities, because the parents and the kids look forward to this. I have people come up to me and say, "Isn't it about time for that?" Yes, it is, and they're looking forward to it. And some of the politicians have pointed out what a positive influence it is on the community. There's bad news every day, but you have something like this, which is good news and positive, and it's really something everybody looks forward to.
I've noticed the teamwork of the companies sending a team, you know, when they send a team, how together that team is, and how they look forward to working together every year with the exhibit that they're going to do. I'm thinking specifically of, Viavi. They come with a big team of people, and Jeff Weber and his group who come from Keysight. They're like kids. They're having fun. It's just such a fun day, and it's hard work. Believe me, it's hard work, but it's also so much fun. It's so rewarding.
It is. So. And a lot of times the engineers and scientists and technicians who are part of the event for us don't get to see the public very much. A lot of times it's a conference with a booth or an exposition, and they're not part of it. So they really enjoy that public-facing role.
Yeah, it's good, good. Well, for sure, we want everyone to put it on the calendar for October 29th, 2016, and always check out our website, www.northbayscience.org, for any details. But if somebody wants to be involved, you know, as a sponsor, an exhibitor, or a volunteer, or whatever, how can they do that?
Well, we have a lot of ways to reach us. The website that you just mentioned, northbayscience.org, has a way to connect with us. They're certainly welcome to connect with me if they're interested in exhibiting. That's Lyman, Lyman, at bayareascience.org. We're always looking for more sponsors so that we can bring this to more kids. And Don Pierce handles that, Don at bayareascience.org. And of course, they can always contact you, because you really are heading up everything, and without you it wouldn't be possible.
Oh, yeah, it would be. But anyway, I'm the chair only because I'm organized, you know. But I'm always looking for volunteers who want to just have a one day. They don't have to be involved in anything more than just one day of one shift. And generally we break it down to about a 3 or 4 hour shift, where people can do something very specific and then spend the rest of the time either having fun or just go home if they're exhausted already. But that can be just greeting people, or handing out programs, or being a relief person to an exhibitor who's just getting a little exhausted and overwhelmed. And we do have a little bit of that happen, because they don't understand what a mob that size, how draining it can be. So anyway, if they forget to schedule enough people at their booth and they don't even have time to go for a potty break, you know, that kind of a person, we need volunteers for that kind of thing. It's not real high-intense labor or high-intense science knowledge or anything like that, but just people who are willing to have, just enjoy and give of their time. And that, again, as you said, is Carol at bayareascience.org, right? That's my email.
That's right.
Julie, what else? What have I left out?
I would just encourage everybody to go online and like us on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great source of information, especially as the event draws near.
Yeah, and we do have our Facebook page, that's right. And we also this year have a Twitter account. And do you guys remember what that is? It's at...
I believe
Discovery
that's
Day
Discovery Day NB.
NB, at Discovery Day NB. That's our brand new Twitter account. Rafael Ayala is our new member on the committee, and that's his thing. He's putting that together. We're so excited about that. Whole new things. Okay, any last minute thoughts or anything we've left out here? We talked about where it is. We talked the time. We didn't say the time, 10 to 4, right?
10 to 4 on October 29th.
And did we mention that it was free?
Yes, it is free, including parking.
Right,
Yes.
and that's a biggie because a lot of times, well, I know that there are other science festivals that you go to that are free, but you have to pay about $20 for parking, and that's a surprise. So ours is totally free except for your lunch, and you can bring your own lunch and make the whole day seriously free.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad deal, especially if you've got a family.
And I would hope that anybody who sees this, who resonates with the topics of STEM, connect with us, and we'll find a way for you to be involved.
Right.
There are so many things that can be done.
Good, good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for being here. I thank both of you,
Thank
Julie,
you.
and thank you, Lyman, for
thank you,
being
Carol.
here. And I want to also thank Freda Kaplan and Madeline Peters, who are behind the scenes there, working as the director of the show and also as floor manager, and Leon Johnson, especially for being our technical engineer. He's back there. I see you, Leon. Anyway, and thank you, the Buck Institute, Research on Aging, right here up in the hills in beautiful Novato, for letting us use their beautiful television studio. We just love being here. But most of all, thank you, our viewing audience.